So you've done everything you were told to. You went to school, you've been working hard, you've been a team player, you're not rocking the boat, but for some reason you're still stuck in the same role at the same company while John over there, who forgets his assignments and goes home earlier than you, gets the promotion. Here's the thing most people get wrong. Promotions aren't just merit badges. They're power moves. And if you don't understand how those actually happen, then you'll be the most reliable person in the room with the least amount of leverage. Leverage is the key word here. Think simple tools, pulley system, levers, seesaws, etc., right? They allow you to exert more power with less effort. That is what we are going to try to do here. And I've been there, my clients have been there in terms of over delivering, being under recognized, trying to earn it the honest way. Guess what? Doesn't work. So today's video, we're going to look at why high performers often get overlooked, the 7 ways to shift from being someone who just executes tasks and is reliable to being strategically positioned to be the next one in line without question, and how you can use AI to help reverse engineer all this for you. Before we get into all those details, I want you to comment down below what is the most ridiculous reason you've ever been given for not being promoted or not being considered for a growth opportunity. Put it in the comments. Let's exchange some stories. Let's have some fun. All right. So diving in here into our 7 different things that I want you to focus on. The first one is going to be you're managing tasks, you're not owning outcomes. Okay. Companies promote people who solve problems. You don't just check boxes. Okay. So what you need to understand really to do this is ask a lot of questions. When you get assigned something, when you get a new project, then I want you to begin asking questions like, what was the cause or what was the reason for this initiative to come into place? What is the expected outcome that we're looking for? Is there a bigger picture thing for us to solve that instead of going after this symptom, we can go after the root cause? People are hesitant to do this because they think it's going to make them come off as somebody who's potentially combative or stalling or not wanting to do the work. But the irony is by asking these questions, you're actually going to set yourself up to possibly do more work. And I don't mean necessarily that you're going to have to do 2, 3, 4, 5 projects, but if you're going after the root cause of a problem as opposed to the symptom, you might end up having a little bit bigger of a project, but you only have one project or one thing or one assignment to complete instead of 2, 3, or 4 down the road because you're attacking the root cause. On top of that, you're probably going to have to interview some people in terms of throughout the company, not necessarily new job roles, but ask questions, get with stakeholders, and gather more information than just someone who's like, okay, let me go do that. All right. So that's what I want you to then understand. And this is really focused on putting outcomes first. What is the outcome that I was going for? And secondly, now when you go to have these discussions about growth opportunities, about your promotions, this stuff will now set you up perfectly because now you can make your outcome first language the reason you deserve to be promoted. Hey, I didn't just do what you told me, but I actually prevented us from having future loss and mitigated risk and maintained revenue because of ABC, right? You're not just saying what you did, but you're able to parlay that into the actual results that the business wanted to solve to begin with. And you begin to speak that strategic language, shift your mindset into this, and you don't have to wait for the annual review or the promotional conversation to do this, right? Insert this into your weekly updates, into your daily stand-ups, into your just general team chat, right? To where if it was maybe a collective effort that you guys did something, then you can post in there, hey, I really appreciate the team kicking ass and then, knocking this project out in half the time or whatever it might be. Okay. This is what's going to be money. Move from just managing tasks to owning outcomes from the second that you are assigned something. Second reason that high performers get stuck is you're too essential to move. So I'll tell you the first time that I encountered this, and it was the most infuriating thing. And it wasn't professional. It actually goes back to sports. So I played high school football, and I kid you not when I say that our freshman football year, I was second string quarterback, second string wide receiver, second string running back, and second string cornerback. And I was told I could start at none of them because we would lose second string at all of them. And that infuriated me to no end. Okay. So this is something that I have seen happen in the real world too frequently, where people genuinely become the number one best, all that in a bag of chips at their job. And then they're unable to be seen as anything else. So what you need to do is find that happy medium, right? To where you are better than, let's say, 70, 80+% of people or people on your team. But then your remaining 20 to 30% of kind of time, effort, and awesomeness is spent on looking forward and looking at the bigger picture. The other side that you're going to use that for as well is to document, demonstrate, and delegate. Okay. So you're going to be taking a part of that free time and that effort that you don't have to spend to be that above average achiever. And you're going to use that to ask those questions, dive deeper into the company initiatives, look at where the company problems are, how can you contribute to the strategy, etc. And the other ones are going to be document what it is that you do and how you're doing it and why you're kicking ass and taking names. Demonstrate that to other people on your team or people beneath you and delegate it accordingly as well. Communicate when you do both of those things in your one-on-ones to your leader. When you say, hey, I delegated to the juniors on the team, this, and this, here's the documentation I produced, here was the meeting I had with them to demonstrate how to do it, and I let them know to ask me any questions or escalate to me if they have anything. Cool, awesome. This is how you begin to free up more of your time to continue to expand your scope on that continuous process of document, demonstrate, delegate, but also focusing more on strategic thinking. And this gets you out of being essential in your job and freeing up time to go beyond your job or lateral to your job so that you can continue to be promoted and freed up. And this type of stuff is going to make your boss look good and create a nice little consistent curve to where they're going to look good. They get promoted. That frees up the spot for you then to get promoted. And it just creates this vicious cycle of you guys climbing things together. So never become too essential to move in your role. Become definitely above average, the clear cut winner, and then spend the rest of your time offloading work and focusing more on strategy. All right, 3. I've said it a couple times here. So if you haven't caught on to this theme, I'm going to specifically say it. You're not socializing your wins. If no one knows your value, they will assume you're replaceable. Okay, so I want you to go about this in a couple of different ways. I mentioned posting in your team chat, kind of things of, hey, got this done. You can now move this forward. Hey, team, I thought that we kicked ass and take names this week when we did this, whatever it might be. Okay, but that's a way to do it in your team chat and have high visibility without necessarily coming off as braggy. In your one-on-ones, what I want you to do is, this is my favorite trick. When you do something that you want your manager to see but haven't had the recognition for, in your one-on-one, say, hey, did you notice that I did A, B, and C? Do you think I could have done it better? How would you have done it differently? How would you improve it? So you're immediately shifting away from, hey, look at me, I'm all that in a bag of chips. And you're shifting to, hey, I did this thing, but I want to know if I did it as good as I could have. Or how would you have done it better? Or also, kind of went back to what I said before of making your boss look good. How could I make you look better with this win? This is the best way in your one-on-ones to get that continuous feedback and recognition all at the same time. It's absolutely money. Okay. And then at the same time, if you have the opportunity within larger email chains, maybe you're part of a project that has a very large email chain where your executives are on it, or senior leaders, or cross-departmental leaders, or other people that are kind of in the earshot that will matter when it comes to your promotion, but maybe not in your direct chain of command. Don't just communicate to your leader when you complete your part, or when you kind of want to ask some of these questions, like I mentioned earlier. Do it with that broad audience so that they see you as the strategic thinker. They come to you to answer questions, right? You continue to be recognized. And while you're getting all these things along the way, I want you to start building what I call a brag book. If you have been watching my content, you'll know I'm a huge fan of an application called TickTick. It's mostly focused for to-do list, productivity, etc. But I love taking notes in this thing. That is where I started actually creating my brag book. And as a leader, what's funny is I actually started creating a brag book for my team. And this way, when they advocate for themselves, I'm already prepared for it. And at the same time, I can advocate for them on their behalf proactively, right? So I not only am keeping track of my own brag book, but I'm keeping track of a brag book for everyone that works for me as well. And this is how, when you go into that semi-annual or annual review type of scenario, or a position opens, boom, you know how to update your resume, how to update your cover letter, and what stories you're going to tell to be like, hey, boss man or woman, come check me out. Okay. Number 4, you're always talking tactics, but not strategy, right? And so this kind of relates back to the other one that I was saying before, where you're just focused on these minute tasks, but you also need to be the decision maker, be the decider. That's kind of the difference I want you to focus on, or to build upon that previous point I was making. So I'm not going to repeat and rehash how to go from being doer to strategist, but also be the decider. Be willing to take the risk. Be willing to speak in those strategic discussions, send the strategic signals, and be willing to take the consequences in both directions. Because as a decision maker, guess what? You're going to get it wrong. That's assumed. None of us are perfect. Talk to anyone who has made it to, I'll say honestly, like director or higher, maybe even senior manager, or even as just a manager of a decent time frame. We'll say 5+ years in leadership. Ask any of them, have you ever gotten the decision wrong? Have you ever told an employee the wrong thing? Every single person has. I will actually tell you, in my interview process, when I'm interviewing candidates for the companies I work for, I've done this for the last decade since I've been doing this. I always ask a question around, when have you cost a company money? When did you make a mistake? When did you burn a bridge? How did you overcome it? What was the situation? Tell me the details. It is expected that your decisions will fail from time to time. It's about how you recover. So while you're shifting to being a strategist, once you feel comfortable in those discussions at that table of the people who are making those decisions, be willing to make decisions on your own and of yourself and with your own judgment calls. Just be prepared for the consequences in both directions. And when you do make a bad decision, ideally, before anyone else has the opportunity to tell you it was a bad decision, you can go into the conversation where you know that's what's going to happen and be like, look, here's how I messed up. Here's what I'm going to do moving forward. What do you think about that? Like, you already have a game plan and acknowledge the issue. Number 5, you haven't built executive trust. For better or worse, the world is built on what I would call political capital. It is not always, again, like I said before, the number one highest performer that gets the promotions and gets the achievement. It's not just the most reliable person, right? But it is about building relationships. It's about having the performance with the trust and the relationships. Because if you only have the trust and relationships, then as you move up the ladder, the lack of performance is going to become glaring, and it's going to bite you in the ass. Okay. So again, you want to have your performance to a high degree that it's undeniable, but you also want to have that executive trust and executive relationships and the people in your chain across the board. Okay. And that is because their job is to make the best decisions for the company. And they are not going to go out on a 50-50 shot. Most executives will not take a 50-50 chance on their company or a department or anything of that nature, right? They at least want like an 80-20, 90-10. That's what you need to be for them. And they will only know that you are that if you have that relationship. So this is going to happen with, from time to time, make sure your leader's okay with it, that they're not, self-conscious. More run it by them to just make sure that it's okay. Any leader that is worried about you potentially having a one-on-one or something with a person superior to them, I'd say that might not be the best leader, and they probably don't have your best interest at heart. So what I would recommend is maybe once or twice a year, not super frequent. Ask for a one-on-one with your boss's boss, or even go to other leaders in the company and just be like, hey, how can my department help yours be better? And when you go to the leader's leader or anyone, you're trying to just ask these questions, get feedback, and especially the higher up the ladder you go. So like myself, who I'm at that senior manager, director level, depending on the company. So my boss is typically either director or VP. Going above that would be going to the C level. I want to use that opportunity to not focus on my performance, but instead learn more about the company, learn more about the strategy, learn more about the direction. And then as I'm then doing my duties that are 1 to 2 levels beneath that person, or sorry, 2 or more levels beneath that person, because it's not who I directly report to, I'm making sure that I'm fulfilling and working towards the mission that I gathered in that language or in that discussion. Okay, so this is how you begin to build that executive trust. Also, throwing them in on email chains. So, like I mentioned earlier, if they're already in one, great. But if they're not, don't hesitate to throw them in to keep them aware of project completion, etc. Because this is something that your boss will notice of like, hey, I appreciate you saving me the time of having to type up my own summary or type up my own email, right? And you just keep everybody in unison of communication, and your leaders will appreciate you keeping the leaders above them on the up and up when it comes to this sort of stuff. So don't hesitate from time to time to schedule some one-on-ones with them and make sure that you're giving them visibility into the initiatives and things being accomplished. All right. Number 6. So you're waiting for a title to start acting like a leader. This is something that just gets me. Like, it gets to me because I am someone who I never wanted the leadership title for a long time. I consistently said I will gladly always be somebody's number 2. I don't want to be the number 1. I don't want to have to play the game. I don't want to have to deal with politics. I don't want to have to deal with that nonsense, because that's what I always felt like being a leader was. Is like, yeah, you got to make a difference in people's lives, but you just had to deal with meeting after meeting and discussion after discussion and just political game after political game. And I bring this up because at every job I've ever had in my career, I always was sought out by people within my department. No matter how junior I was or senior I was, people came to me and they flocked to me as someone who could help coach them up, help them navigate difficult conversations, help them with a difficult situation with our leader who we reported to, whatever it was. But I never held the manager title because I actively resisted it. Okay, so to be a leader, you do not need a title. Just be willing to lead projects, share your knowledge, create documentation. I mentioned earlier that a great way to free up your time to do bigger, better things is document, demonstrate, delegate. Do that to the juniors in your department, the new employees in your department, or other people. Just spread the load. Because even if you're not necessarily delegating it to people beneath you, if you have 3 people in your department, but right now you're the only one doing something, you document, demonstrate, and quote unquote delegate. Now you only have to do that 1/3 of the time because everybody else has to do it too. And they have no excuse not to. Okay. And then how you're kind of taking this into your one-on-one discussions and things of that nature, I want you to do is I want you to say, hey, here's something I've taken ownership of lately. What do you think? How am I going about it? So on and so forth, right? And as maybe you're getting into your next strategic discussion, hey, I've been thinking about next quarter, and this is what I'm thinking. Hey, I've been thinking about this upcoming fiscal year, and I think this should be our overarching goal. Or I think that this contributes to the discussion that I had with fill in the blank of the person that was 2 levels higher that we mentioned in our previous point here, right? Begin to have these discussions with your manager because, again, by creating that space, by you going out of your way, you're letting them know, hey, I'm someone who I am ambitious. I do want to achieve something, but I'm going to do it with you and alongside you. And so, how do we lock arms, go to war, and fight this fight and make everybody win in this company? And we both get recognized for it. Have these discussions transparently. Don't wait for the title to start acting like a leader. The second that you enter the workforce, day 1, begin exuding leadership qualities. It's demonstrated, not granted. And I will tell you, promotions are demonstrated, not granted. Okay. And here's our final point, number 7. You have 0 external presence. Okay. So this is one that goes incredibly undervalued and incredibly underrated, is being a thought leader on a platform like LinkedIn, building a school community, building a YouTube channel. And this isn't about monetization and making more money, but a lot of people, when it comes to their job, like that is their network and circle of influence and also their circle of feedback. Okay. And so by you going outside of your company, you begin to either build credibility and solidify your approach, your opinions, your solutions, etc. But it also allows other people to be like, hey, here's another way to approach that, or here's another way to solve that problem and how I've done it to win in the past. And you're like, oh, that's brilliant. I didn't think about that. Right. So this is how you can kind of just expand your network in an organic way by putting yourself out there and making it known that, like, hey, I'm trying to be a thought leader, but not in a way that's like, I'm the best and I'm number one and I'm, the Michael Jordan of account management. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about putting out there where you believe you can help people because you genuinely have some thoughts and some experience and ways to approach certain situations, but you're opening up yourself for the same in return, and you can skyrocket the level of advancement that you get. And then this just creates you externally as this collaborator. And this will also honestly create a lot of opportunities for you that if you do get, like a golden egg opportunity where you're like, holy smokes, like this is a great company with a great culture and a great, compensation package and growth opportunity, etc. Like, you had no intention of leaving your company, but it might open up that opportunity. Or maybe it allows you to approach something in your company in a way that allows you to become such a strategic, like, foothold in their progress and success that it solidifies your position in there as well. Okay. So by going external to put your thoughts and experience out there in the world, yes, you are going to help people. And yes, you're going to open yourself up to additional feedback and criticism, etc. But that's the point, is to build yourself as somebody who is like, yes, I am a thought leader. I am someone who believes I know my stuff, but I am not above criticism. And all I want is to grow and be the best that I can. So to reiterate here before we get into some of the specific tactics building upon this and ways to go about this, leveraging AI as well, I want to recap these 7 things for you real quick. So number 1, you're managing tasks, not owning outcomes. 2, you're too essential to move. 3, you're not socializing your wins. 4, you're talking tactics, not strategy. 5, you haven't built executive trust. 6, you're waiting for the title to start acting like a leader. And 7, you have 0 external presence. Okay. So what I want you to do here is do some reverse engineering. Okay. So I'm going to give you 4 different ways that you can use AI in a variety of ways in your job to help you out, and either be with the intent of freeing up time to allow you to do these things, or just for you to create your own strategy and your own roadmap of how to accomplish these promotions. Okay. All 4 of these prompts, templates, etc., are linked down below in our school community. The Promoted School community has all of my AI prompts and all of my career strategies. I'm releasing them on a weekly basis, chunk by chunk, so that way they're done in a quality fashion, easily absorbable fashion, etc. And you get to expand your network with other people. It is a new community, so there's not a lot of members yet, but it is growing every single week. So I hope to see you in there. Like I said, there's plenty more than what I'm sharing in this video. But without further ado, let's dive into the first one. So the first prompt template that I want to read to you and show to you is going to be using AI to identify workflow design changes or design opportunities. So this is going to be when you're looking at what you do, kind of coinciding with the document, demonstrate, delegate. This is going to be trying to identify AI tools or workflow automations that you can use in order to streamline what it is that you do, to free up more time and give you more consistency and work more intelligently. So here's the first prompt for the workflow designer. You are ChatGPT, an expert AI augmented productivity and human AI collaboration designer. I am your insert role, where I am a insert role with number of years of experience, currently working in blank industry and additional context. My daily work includes list 3 to 5 kind of tasks or projects or things that consistently come up. Then, with AI tools becoming more powerful and accessible, I'm looking to integrate them intelligently into my workflow, not just to save time, but to increase quality, creativity, and strategic impact of my work. I also have put in some kind of personal circumstances or things that are unique to you and your situation that make career sustainability a priority. Please help me by doing the following. 1, design a sample AI-assisted weekly workflow customized to my profession, showing where AI can be embedded at key stages to improve efficiency and performance. 2, list 4 to 5 AI tools, platforms, or automations I should master for greater output and less manual effort without sacrificing quality. 3, explain what uniquely human skills I bring to my role and how I can reinforce them as AI takes over more of the repetitive work. Structure your output with clear sections and bullet points so I can start applying your suggestions right away. That is our AI workflow designing output template. Okay. Very simple. Again, available in school. Let's go ahead and jump over to our strategic thinking prompt. Very similar framing. You are ChatGPT, a strategist trained in enhancing human decision-making and long-term thinking in AI-integrated workplaces. I'm a insert role in insert industry with blank years of experience. I'm good at execution and day-to-day operations, but I'm realizing that to move up and stay relevant as AI handles more tactical work, I need to develop stronger strategic thinking and decision-making skills. I also have blank. Insert your career goal, the promotion you're working towards, the salary you want to achieve, and kind of your additional surrounding circumstances, ideally framing it in a way of what are potentially your enablers and your roadblockers of achieving this. So provide the goal or goals and some context around your personal life. That's going to give you, allow it to give you suggestions that are realistic. Okay, so I also have a insert goal and personal context that makes this shift critical for me over the next few years. Please help me by doing the following. 1. List 4 to 5 practical exercises, mental models, or frameworks I can practice regularly to build sharper strategic thinking and judgment. 2. Create a self-assessment or reflection prompt I can use monthly to evaluate how well I'm improving in making proactive, long-term decisions. 3. Show me how I can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or other AI tools as a strategic advisor, simulating outcomes, exploring edge cases, and reframing challenges. Structure the output into clear sections so I can turn this into a personal development system. That is our strategic thinking prompt. Or 3, maybe you are looking to maybe change your career. This is something that can be incredibly realistic and kind of forced upon you, either expectedly or unexpectedly, with the day and age that we live in. So if you're looking to change your career, then you can go, you are ChatGPT, a learning strategist and upskilling expert trained in guiding professionals through a future-aligned career transitions. I am a blank insert age in blank current role transitioning into blank target role or industry. I have taken relevant courses or experience, but I want a clear strategic learning plan to accelerate this pivot and align with the long-term market trends, especially around AI and tech disruption. My time is limited due to boom, insert your circumstances, situation, and how much time you have per day or per week to invest in learning. So I need the highest leverage skills and tactics possible. Please help me by doing the following. 1. Design a 6-month personalized learning roadmap tailored to my transition into insert target role or field again, with a focus on AI augmented skills, durable capabilities, and project-based growth. 2. List 4 to 5 skill domains that will make me resilient, valuable, and promotable in this field over the next 5 to 10 years. 3. Show how I can use AI tools like ChatGPT to accelerate learning, simulate experience, build a portfolio, or reinforce what I'm learning through active application. Structure the plan so it's easy to follow, track, or evolve over time. Now, again, I'm going to pivot real quick on this before I get to our final prompt template. This is easily a template that you could shift from being a career changer into that promotion, right? Because it's really about giving you a 6-month learning plan, the skill domains you need to be valuable and promotable, and using AI tools to accelerate and achieve this particular thing. So instead of being a transition oriented, right, you could say, I am a blank current role transitioning or aiming to be blank. Here's what I've done already. And then it kind of now becomes, instead of a career change, it becomes a very strategic, goal-oriented prompt, similar to the strategic thinking one, but actualizing your skill development. So this is a great, great prompt to be very manipulatable into multiple facets. Last one, I mentioned as our 7th scenario here, or 7th reason, is that you don't have external validity. This is your prompt. Here is how you use AI to begin building thought leadership in your line of work. You are ChatGPT, a personal brand strategist trained to help professionals gain strategic visibility, grow thought leadership, and build future-proof reputations in competitive fields. I'm a blank year old in insert title with blank years of experience in insert industry or specialty. I'm good at what I do, but I've never really built a public presence or leveraged my expertise outside of work. With AI reshaping industries and reputation becoming more valuable than resumes, I want to build a trusted personal brand online, especially on insert platform or platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, etc. I'm not looking to go viral. I want to build long-term trust, credibility, and optionality for the next 5 to 10 years. Please help me by doing the following. 1. Create a 90-day content and visibility plan that's manageable for my busy professional, focused on consistently showing up in a valuable, non-performative way. 2. List 4 to 5 themes or content angles I should lean into that demonstrate expertise, value, and relevance in my field. 3. Show me how I can use ChatGPT to ideate, draft, and refine content, especially ways to repurpose experience into insights and break down complex topics for broader audiences. Please format the output as a weekly plan, content theme bank, and prompt list for easy execution. There are your 4 prompts to use AI to help design your workflows, improve your strategic thinking, change careers or up-level your careers, and build thought leadership. All those prompts, all these templates, and more are available in the Skool community. Again, link down below. Free to join, free to access all this. No paywall nonsense. Okay? I appreciate you joining me. Now that you have, hopefully, landed the promotion, or at least gotten to the stage of, hey, we're going to give this to you. Now you might need to negotiate it. I'm going to give you 2 different videos that I'm going to pop up here. First video is going to be my salary negotiation masterclass. If you need that one, check it out. And on the other side from this video is it's going to be about my leadership template and leadership skills and leadership approach for the current job market in 2025. So check that video out as well. I appreciate you joining me today. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and until next time, thank you.